I'm going to create a professional movie ending only using this. A Digicam. I know a Digicam has quite some constraints. It has a very small sensor, the battery life is very bad, and the performance in the movie aspect is really bad. I'd argue most people think gear matters a lot when shooting videos, but I'd argue the vision is more important. Just start with what you have. So I will be creating a small ending scene of a popular movie or one I imagine myself, and I want you to guess in the comments below what the movie is about. Now, in a professional movie set you wouldn't come to a camera like this. It is quite small and not really suited for professional video usage, but I think if you use the correct lighting and use the things you already have, it is not a very huge problem. Now, this camera only has a 720p mode. Now, in today's 4K world, this is not a really big number, but if you grew up with YouTube and other social media platforms, then 720p was enough to watch everything and no one really complained. Now, on the other hand, this camera doesn't have log footage. So, for example, this footage you're watching right now, I can color correct with my own presets and own color grading. Now, with this camera, it doesn't have this feature, and the color grading aspect is therefore really limited. So I'm quite interested to see how I can bend and tweak things in this camera. So as you can see, the camera is literally so small. I don't know how this will go, but I'll give my best. But I'm still very confident that I can pull off a movie ending with this limitation, even though it isn't really suited for video and a very old camera. But I want to try and show you that you don't need the most expensive gear to achieve something like this. This camera is really cheaply available everywhere, and I'm sure most of you won't guess that a result like this is even possible. So this is the location I will film in. I want to go for a little noir setting, for a really dark mood and a movie ending. So I will put you up here so that you can also look and see how the whole process is going. I will show sometimes what I'm doing, but I will do the whole process with this little camera. As you can see, this tripod is totally overkill for this whole movie setup, but as I said, I want to show that something is still possible. There are a few tips I can give so that you can up your movie production. The most important tip is that lighting is the key to your movie. For example, this is a very cheap light I found on Amazon that you can light the background with. Or this light, I got it I think for 10 or 20 bucks, and this is also a very good thing. I won't use any other lighting. So when I began filming, everything worked smoothly, but I soon stumbled upon the first problem. The camera has such a small battery life that I can only shoot a few minutes at a time, and then I have to charge the whole camera again. Another problem is that the mood I'm going for in this movie, or in this movie ending, is quite dark and gloomy. And the problem is, with such a small sensor in this camera, the camera can't handle light very good. Especially the low light scenarios are very bad. So the first shots will happen here. I will keep you around and show you how I do things in the background in my production as a solo filmmaker, and you can learn maybe one or two tricks. As you can see, here is natural lighting, and I really like to use something like this, and don't really like to pack huge lights around.
Another huge problem I came across was in the post-production.
One of the biggest difficulties I already found is that this camera doesn't have a flip out screen. So when I make a shot or when I want to plan something, this little camera cannot show me what I am recording right now. Because I'm a one-man team, it is really not possible, and I'm really interested to see how the ending will turn out. But wish me luck, I hope the framing will be okay. So as a quick summary for this whole video, I will be dressed in this outfit. It is quite fancy, but it is the look I'm going for. I will be lighting this whole room with this light, I already described it, and will light some areas around here, and will use almost only natural lighting and a lighter and this very small light. I also will dress with this hat because I think it will push the story forward, but I'm still looking how things will go.
Now, to overcome the hurdles I described, I used a few tricks. One, for example, is if you use more light or the brighter lights, then a sensor like this is still suitable in low light scenarios. It is still no comparison to my Lumix S5 and Lumix S9, but it is still usable. I'm not talking that this camera is cinema grade quality, but I'm trying to show you that even with a camera like this, you can produce good and good looking images, and you don't need to buy the latest gear every time. It's quite fun to challenge myself and make some hurdles so that I can overcome them with creative thinking. Now, this is the first video in this series, and I'm trying to explore a lot more challenges so that I also can level up my video production quality. I have to say this challenge is quite hard.
So now I finished the first few shots and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest will unfold. Now, this camera is quite something. It's quite a challenge to wrap my head around. Now, it's really difficult to see what the camera sees because even though I can flip the display, it is quite bad quality. And I'm also looking forward to see how it will perform in such a low light situation. I will also have a second light and maybe even my lighter, but I'm not sure how this camera will perform in this situation. Even my Lumix S9, which is my current camera you're seeing, even this camera has quite some struggle in this lighting situation, and I'm really interested to see how this very old camera this Digicam will perform.
One problem I also came across is that this camera is so small that every footage I'm trying to get is shaky. So one solution I found is that I just use my tripod all the time. I will stick the camera to the tripod and this is the end product.
So now I'm finished filming this whole sequence. A really big problem with this camera is that the battery life is really bad. I had to charge it already 2 times because the battery dies on me all the time. And another problem I really saw is that the low light performance is so bad. I really have to push this edit a lot.
So now I got all the shots and edited them. Now the hurdles are cleared. The limitations didn't stop the shot, but it defined all of them. Now the scene is ready and I want you to watch closely. In the comments tell me, who is this person? What happened to this person before the camera started rolling? And what happened after? I'm really interested to hear from you, and now let's reveal